The Equalizer is one type of movie that will never get old. The story about a retired ex-operative called back into action to get his revenge is definitely something worth watching. Given that there are already two very successful Equalizer movies, it would only be fair that the third one would be in the making. So here's what we know about it and why it could potentially be the best one yet. The main question that we need to answer first is whether or not this movie is happening. Well, the short answer is yes. After releasing the sequel, Antoine Fuqua immediately expressed his interest in doing a third film in the series.
Who the was that, yo?
Well, it has been 4 years since the second movie was released in 2018, and yet we still don't have another sequel. Early on this year, it was officially confirmed that a third movie will be made, with Fuqua and Denzel Washington returning. Fuqua will return to the Equalizer franchise after directing the first two films.
What you do, what you become is not my concern. The world is full of so-called men like you, and in a perfect world.
Currently, not much is known about the level of development this movie has reached, but we're positive that the movie is making progress, even if it's a slow one. We don't doubt that Fuqua will back out from making this movie that quick. He has been dropping hints about it since 2018, and given that the first two movies were a huge success, he would want to have another one where Washington will be able to continue on the story and give it a decent ending. Who knows, maybe they'll even continue with a fourth one. Only time will tell about that. For now, we would be more focused on the third upcoming one. Throughout the years, the Equalizer franchise has been met with mixed reviews from critics, but it has been popular with audiences, with the first outing grossing over $192 million at the box office and leading to a sequel. When the sequel landed, it was once again met with a mixed response, but it was once again a huge success as it grossed $190 million worldwide. Washington has spoken about filming the movie and said that they should begin filming in 2022. If this were to be true, we would be suspecting a potential release date possibly in 2024. However, Sony Pictures confirmed that the movie would receive its theatrical release on September 1st, 2023. So it wouldn't be long before Washington's Robert McCall is back on the big screen, taking out gangsters and doing his part to keep people safe.
You know what they are up there? They liars, and so am I.
Yo.
See what happens when you deal with a liar? Huh?
When the release date was confirmed, many suspected whether or not they would be able to make it in time. 1 year or a year and a half is a short period to completely make the entire movie. Filming along should take them a few long months at least. So this release date might not be the final one, but we do expect to see the movie released by the end of 2023, or even early 2024. Either way, we know that it's coming, so the only thing left to do is sit tight and wait for it to get released. We don't doubt that the movie will be as good and as successful as the previous two movies. One of the cast members that will definitely make a comeback is Denzel Washington. What would the Equalizer be without McCall? He'll reprise his role as a former Marine and Defense Intelligence Agency operative who takes on the role of a vigilante defender of those who cannot fight for themselves. In the first movie, his day job was working in a DIY store, while in the second movie, he was a Lyft driver. So it's interesting to think about what his day job will be in the third one.
You need to be a gangster. You need to be a killer, little yummy. Huh? You need them. Okay, if that's what you want.
In addition to Denzel Washington, the movie will star Dakota Fanning as an undisclosed character. This wouldn't be the first time that Fanning and Washington have worked together. 18 years ago, they both starred in Man on Fire, and they'll once again be reunited on the set. It's highly unlikely that anyone from the previous films would return, but there's the possibility that Ashton Sanders could return as Miles, a young artist. The only two characters who've returned from the 2014 film were Brian and Susan Plummer, played by Bill Pullman and Melissa Leo. However, Susan did die in the sequel, so she will for sure not appear in the upcoming movie, but Pullman could theoretically return and reprise his role. All other cast details are being kept under wraps, but it wouldn't be too crazy to believe that some characters might make a comeback. Well, at least those who have made it past the sequel. One thing is for sure, Washington will be the lead man as the Equalizer, and we will for sure see the same amount of action that the previous two movies had. The official plot synopsis for the third movie simply says, the further exploits of former operative Robert McCall. The story of the movie has been kept a secret for now, but the only thing we know is that Robert might take on an international adventure. This had been said by Fuqua, who said that even before the movie was greenlighted, his goal was to take the character to Europe. Given that the movie is set to film in Italy, we would believe this to be true. However, other information about his reasons for heading there and who he'll be up against remains to be seen for the time being. By their nature, the movies are a series, each introducing a fresh case for McCall to solve. At this early stage of production, it's nearly impossible to predict what the movie could be about.
Go back!
At the conclusion of Equalizer 2, we saw McCall returning to live in his seaside home somewhere in Massachusetts. It's a home he shared with his now-deceased wife. The best guess would be that the third movie will start at his home before sending him across the ocean. It would be great to see McCall outside of his comfort zone and into an unknown country while trying to do the right thing. Maybe he'll even be involved with the Italian mafia. Currently, these are all just speculations, but we would believe that he'll go across the world to save someone, possibly someone very close to him, and in the process come face to face with some unwanted characters that he has to eliminate in order to save the person. The franchise is loosely based on the 1980s show of the same name. Throughout the two movies, McCall gets sucked into conspiracy and mayhem without much friction. That gives him a chance to unleash the bevy of killing skills he's honed over years in his past life. Presumably, the third movie will have Washington following a similar path as the first two films. Both of the movies were insular stories that didn't overlap each other all that much. In the first movie, McCall helps protect a teenager from the Russian mafia. He works his way through the organization to the top in order to equalize the group for the treatment of girl.
This ain't a perfect world. People do bad things. You're lucky you get a chance to set it right.
In the second film, we're given a slightly different scenario with the same results. In the movie, McCall is simply minding his business as a Lyft driver, helping the odd neighbor in need until his former partner in covert operations is killed. In this movie, McCall uncovers which government was responsible for killing an innocent agent. He leaves behind a body count that would make his revenge movie Brethren proud. Both of these movies have received a huge amount of success. As we previously mentioned, both of them grossed $190 to $192 million with only roughly a $70 million budget. It's likely that the third one will receive the same amount of success. We have yet to see what Equalizer 3 has stored for us, and we're tightly keeping our fingers crossed that it won't disappoint us. Given that Washington is once again paired with Fuqua for the movie, it'll likely be the same amount of awesome and action packed into one incredible movie. We surely are excited about it. Sadly, we have to wait at least a year before we see it. Hopefully, it'll all be worth it in the end. On a related note, we wanted to know, what are your expectations from The Equalizer 3? Let us know in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more amazing videos such as this one, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.